Moon as your Atmakarka. So we have discussed that moon, if it's holding the highest degree in your chart, excluding the nodes, then it becomes your soul planet, which then means that it embodies your true and innate nature. I've already done a video on indications of the moon. You can have a look at that for further information about the moon. So let's begin talking about moon Atmakarka. So moon is completely opposite to the sun. Sun gives off light and is consistent. It consistently rises every morning, sets at night time. But the moon is completely different, looks different in the sky, different days, different evenings. So this person will be a bit like the moon. So they will be changeable, they will be flexible. And the moon also rules Cancer, which is the natural fourth house of the zodiac. So they will be very homely. If the moon is in a good condition, a good house, then they will be close to their mum. They'll be of caring nature, kind. They'll be charitable. They'll be sensitive, but they will have their sentiments in check. They'll be emotional, but again, they know when to show emotion. And they'll be kind of like, they make everybody feel very much at home in their surroundings. And they're seeking fame. They can be a natural teacher to others. And they will be quite materialistic as well, because obviously moon is exalted in Taurus, which is the natural sign for material gain, material stability. And that is what they're seeking in life always. They're seeking stability and having firm foundation in place. They can be romantic. They can be quite a social butterfly. They can be creative, musical. They'd be able to sing. They could have very sort of domestic ways about them really as well. And so if the lessons of the moon will be really all about how to keep your emotions intact, how to display emotion when it's the right time, and to just make sure that, you know, not every situation is ruled through the emotion, feelings and sensitivity. Because a moon that is not in good condition in the chart or in a difficult house can be very sensitive, very emotional, overly emotional, sensitive, and they could sometimes hold on to what people say for a very long time. And even though it was like, you know, the person who said it could be completely unaware that they hurt that person on such a deep level. So it's very confusing to other people. So for these people, it's very important to actually just like not be reactive and just literally just think, you know, keep their emotions logical, just be logical about things. And they obviously they're very kind, and you know, they do very well if they have a really good relationship with other women and their mother as well. And they could be quite patriotic, because Cancer in German astrology is overseas and abroad. So, you know, if they are abroad, living abroad, they're constantly thinking about their country of birth and how their family is, how everybody's coping with everything. They are they very much come from where they want to have deep connections. Connections are very important. It's the root core of what they want. So emotional attachment in relationships will be core need of theirs, really. They have very generous sort of like heart. They can be very tolerant, and they could actually they can also be like a second mum to other people as well. And it's very important for them, obviously, because they're romantic and sentimental. All of this, if the moon is works in a very sort of like logical, structured way, it does them a world of good. I mean, that's what they're here for, to learn when to display emotions and when not to, when to be sensitive and not to be sensitive, who to connect to and who not to connect to. So they have a lot of lessons to learn about very healthy relationships and attachments. So a moon that is obviously in a Dushtana house like 6, 8, or the 10th will, 12th will be very, these are difficult houses for a moon to deal with. So they if you have your moon in these houses and it's an enemy sign, they need to really kind of think that, I need to rein in my overreactive mind. So meditation, yoga, and self-awareness and mindfulness would do them a world of good. They also, even if they have a difficult relationship with their mum, they do really well to just kind of have heart and really kind of realise where their mum is coming from and try and form some level of healthy relationship with their mum, even if it's just like phoning their mum consistently once a month, say on a Sunday morning, for like a 5-minute chat, and always make sure that that conversation ends on a high, and so that gives them hope and a good healthy mind, and also does the same for their mind, for their mum as well. And because anything you do nicely for other women and moon and mum, it's always in the end give you really good liquid assets as well, because that's what moon does. Moon naturally, obviously, because it seeks stability and it likes the house, a sign like Taurus, where it's sign of the second natural sign of the zodiac about family, self-worth, and it's all about material things and having a secure and stable home and family life. So this is what they are seeking all the time. So their attachments have got to, before they jump into any relationships, they really got to make sure that they are doing this with their eyes wide open, and they're not going from a very romantic and besotted way. So is this relationship good for me, good for my mental health? Is it going to serve me right? So, and that will really help them have very stable mind. This is the game that the moon Atmakarka is. It's all about stability and forming really good relationships in life, and being tolerant, but just having, I find that they do really well with having a very structured lifestyle, basically. So they know that between those sort of times I'm working, so their mind is not constantly fleeting from this to that, and being more practical and logical rather than emotional, come from emotional side, and knowing when to actually be emotional and when to just like cut that and just get on with that. Because once they become, if the moon is not strong, or in Scorpio, in a difficult house, it becomes very much like they just can't concentrate on anything, because their mind is preoccupied with something trivial that might have happened. So this is very important that they rein that in. Moon in Gemini is also about the teacher as well. So the moment they actually conquer their mind and their emotions and stop being oversensitive, they can be really good teachers to others, particularly if their moon travels 5 houses or 9 houses from their natal chart in the D9. So if in the D1 they have, say for example, Sagittarius moon, and in the Navamsha goes into Aries or goes into Leo, 5th or 9 houses away from their natal moon, then that means that they actually have progressed, and they do then really can give the message to other people as well. Moon is also very creative, very musical, very poetic, so these people can be very famous for that. They could have some level of fame in the world, particularly if Rahu touches it as well, and moon is in a good condition, it can definitely bring really good fruits, liquid assets to them as well. And so this is all about kind of having that balance, just seeking that stability. I find it's always better if they have a strong Saturn in their chart. It doesn't necessarily have to, I don't mean it to be in connection or aspect in the moon, no, I don't mean it in that way. I just mean it that if they have more planets in like earth signs or really strong Saturn, they are much more stable generally in the way that they deal with things as well. And also just realizing that overreaction is not going to be great for them. It does particularly well in Venus's signs, and so it does pretty well in Libra as well. I find actually Cancer moon can be a little bit too oversensitive, so they are probably the people that even if it's in a good house, they still need to work on there. It's great if the moon is in the fourth house from ascendant, or fourth house from the moon as well, their natal moon. That really helps because it's got direction and focus in life as well. And normally when people have got any planets with directional strength, that planet just does well anyway, because it knows he has focus, it can get to where he wants to go as well. So this is all about like keeping the emotions intact, using like your energy and your emotional heart intact in order to achieve more, rather than just being completely like ruled by unhealthy connections, unhealthy relationships, unhealthy bond with people that are really don't serve them very well, and then they can achieve their heart's desires. So this is Moon, and I'll see you on the next video.